Hey there, I'm Nuri, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys a couple of home decor DIYs that I recently did and how I'm styling these pieces in my home. I'm not really a great explainer when it comes to crafts. I just love crafting and creating my one-of-a-kind decor pieces for my home, and I thought I would share with you guys how I created these pieces. You could use similar colors that I used in today's DIY to achieve that look, but my goal in sharing this is that you will just feel inspired and use these methods to create your own items. A lot of these DIYs I do are just me experimenting with things. I really don't know if there's any method to these. I just try what I think would work best. And by the way, these DIYs, I started them in early April and I've been wanting to share with you guys these, but it takes me forever to edit these videos because life happens and it's really hard for me to get all the videos together. So I hope this video inspires you and hopefully you could use these inspiration when you're decorating or crafting for the upcoming fall season. These two items I did not record when I made these, so I'm going to share you guys a little close-up of how I made these two, and then we're going to jump right into the 3 DIYs that I'm going to share with you today. You might have seen this wall art right here in my entryway if you saw my summer home tour. So this backing right here, this part, this one I actually hot glued fabric to the back. So I just removed the frame and then I took fabric and I hot glued it to the back of the frame to give it that beautiful matting look. I'm going to insert a video right here so you can see a better picture of this. So right now, matting picture frames like these with the fabric is very popular. I've seen McGee & Co. style certain pieces like this, and I already had a picture frame, and I just wanted to elevate something that I already had at home without spending any money. My favorite things to do is create decor by seeing what other people have in their home and using inspiration from designer decor stores and trying to create stuff using things I already have at home. So I love using old decor pieces and just painting it over or adding new fabrics to it to give it a new look. This next DIY was basically a fail. I was trying to get that pleated look, lampshade look, and it started off okay at first. Let me show you guys. So this part right here, it started off really well. I was hot gluing each strip of fabric. This is what the bottom side looks like. I just hot glue the fabric, as you can see, to the top and bottom, and inside I did not hot glue it. And this was a lampshade that I got for, I believe, $2 from Goodwill, and I already had this fabric. This is an old pillowcase that we didn't have the bed sheet for anymore because I got rid of it, but I really like this pillowcase cover. I love the stripe look and I wanted to use it for a lampshade, but as you can see, it was a fail. Rather than going straight down how it started off over here, once I started twisting it, I think I was doing it on a diagonal and not straight line, and that's where I messed up. So this one is a fail, but it's okay to have DIY fails because you learn from your mistakes. I have to see a couple more tutorials to try to fix this one. But anyways, let's jump right in to the DIYs that I did recently. I have been wanting to do a craft with these two items for so long, especially with that lamp right there. I want to do like this amber interior inspired lamp. I'm going to insert a picture right here so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to use this dry spackling right here to get that look. So today we're going to work on these two items and see what we could do with it. So I plan on just spreading this dry spackling all over the lamp and this vase to create a little textured look. And then I'm going to paint it to get that aged look. And this vase I thrifted a couple of months ago and I have been putting it to the side, wanting to do a craft with it. And I'm going to just paint it brown and then I'm going to do rub and buff just to give it that brass textured look. It's going to be fun crafting today. So this is the first layer. I'm not sure if I need to do a second layer, but I'm just gonna let this dry, and now we're gonna start working on this vase. I'm gonna do the same technique on this vase. I got this one from Kohl's during their clearance sale. I paid like $9 for it. I don't like the two-tone. It reminds me of a coconut shell, and I just want to have a vase that has a little texture and it's the same color. So we're going to do the same technique. I'm just going to rub it. Oh, this is kind of shiny, so I'm just going to rub it around and see what happens. I'm going to rub it in a different direction. Just try to create different textures. Play around like this, basically. Using the glove, I'm just gonna fold my fingers and just tap it slightly to give it some texture. Now we're gonna let these dry for a couple of hours before we sand anything. If we need to sand anything down or do another layer, I might do another layer on the lamp, but for this vase right here, I might keep it as is and just start painting it. But I'm gonna let this dry for a couple of hours, maybe 4 to 5 hours. This vase and lamp has been drying for over 24 hours. And today we're gonna sand it down just so it could be even and not have all those bumps. And I'm just gonna take a napkin, like a paper towel, and just slightly wipe it to get any of the excess spackling off these items. I have one slightly damp napkin and then another dried one, and I'm just gonna slightly rub it to get the excess off. So for the vase, I'm slightly rubbing off the excess, spackling off of it, and I'm being very gentle because I don't want to remove any extra layer off the vase. We're going to use the slightly damp napkin to wipe it to even out if there's too much sticking out. We're going to do the same technique with this lamp vase. I'm just going to clean some of this up. I noticed when I was using the wet paper towel, and this is slightly wet, it was removing too much, so I'm just going to stick to using the dry one. The goal is to get this as smooth as possible, but if you want to have some texture showing, you don't have to make it that smooth. As you can see, I missed some spots with the spackling, but that's fine. This is the back side of the lamp where the wire is, so I didn't really care about filling it up as much. And I tried my best to fill it up because I didn't want to have all those little bumps. I'm not really sure what color I want to go for, so I'm gonna do espresso. This one is from Michaels, and this is English Ivy Green. I got this from Amazon. I'm gonna mix these two. My main concern is that I'm gonna start painting and the dry spackling is gonna start coming off. So I'm gonna lightly start painting this to make sure I'm not too rough with it and removing any of these stuff. When you are painting, keep in mind that it doesn't have to be perfect. Some spots could be darker than other spots, but try to paint in the same direction. That way you're not removing the spackling by having the paintbrush moving in too many directions. So this brown paint is my base layer, and I'm gonna let this dry for about like an hour before I do my second layer paint. And that one, I think I'm gonna do more of a beige color and just mix it in to make it look lighter. I'm using two different types of beige color. So this first one is territorial beige, and then the next one is just plain beige. And I also got these paint colors off of Amazon, and I'm going to mix these two colors with a little bit of water. That way I could do a water wash. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want my base paint, which is that brown color that I originally painted the vase, to still pop out after I do this beige water wash to it. So now that the paint is drying off, I want to take a little dry paper towel, just stick it into a little ball and start wiping off the excess paint. If the paint is starting to dry up, I would say wet the paper towel and remove some more excess paint. If you want more brown to show, take a little bit of brown paint and put it on a paintbrush and just slightly paint over it. And then take your tissue and just wipe off the excess brown paint. But be very gentle with it so the spackling doesn't come off. For the lamp, I'm going to use the same paint mix that I have left over from the vase, and then I'm just going to add black paint to this mix. This is too gray for me, so I'm going to add a little bit more brown to this. I'm going to slightly brush it onto this, hoping that I don't remove any of the spackling. Alright, so I want to be honest with you guys with this DIY that I did with this lamp. I was not 100% satisfied with the outcome. I thought spackling it would cover up all those like dimples on the lamp, but I've really needed to just do another coat of spackling, I think, because you're still able to see those little hobnails. Is it hobnails or dimples? I'm not even sure what it's called, but I was just not satisfied with it. But I do love it because it's now one of a kind lamp, and you'll see that towards the end of the video. So the spackling, the dry spackling and painting it black, it covered up most of these little holes. This part I didn't do a good job because this is the back of it, but if you look at the front, it's more smooth and a lot of the holes are covered up. And today we're going to paint it the color I want this lamp to be. I'm going to use this color, Territorial Beige, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of green. So this is the English Ivy Green. And I'm gonna use, and to get more of that brown texture, I'm gonna use this melted chocolate. This is very liquidy. I don't know what happened with my Amazon order. Some of my paint came like really, the texture of the paint is not as, I don't know how to explain it, but it's very wet looking. The paint is very wet looking. Makes sense. So these are the three colors I'm gonna use. And if it's too dark, I'm gonna add a pop of this beige color to lighten it up. And we're gonna just put it in this bowl, mix it all up. I'm gonna do a splash of water. That way it's not too dry and it's like moves easily. The first coat of paint has been drying for a couple hours, and using the same paint mixture, I have put a saran wrap over it so it doesn't dry out. I'm going to paint a second coat. Alright, this vase has been drying for a couple of hours now, and I'm going to finish it up by mixing some brown, this is espresso, and just regular black paint. I'm going to mix these two with a light water wash, and I'm just going to rub it throughout this. I'm going to slightly rub it, that way it makes that color that I want. And I ended up switching out the lampshade. I had this lampshade already from a different lamp in my house, and this one looks very similar to the amber interior one. So this is the final look. Let me know what you guys think. And for this last DIY, I just painted this planter using the color espresso, and then I put some black paint over it and just painted this whole thing. I realized as I was editing these videos that I could have saved time by just spray painting this planter, just a plain brown or black color, and then just a rub and buff on it. But that's my bad for not thinking of this idea beforehand. But if you want to save some time, just spray paint the planter and then do rub and buff over it. We're gonna let this dry for like about an hour, and then when it's fully dried, we're gonna put rub and buff on it. I have the color Antique Gold. This color is Antique Gold, and I'm just gonna put some of this rub and buff on a paintbrush and slightly rub it onto this planter. And the last thing we're going to do is take some black paint, slightly put it on the edge of the paintbrush, and rub it onto the planter where they have the curves. That way it makes it have that aged look. Alright everyone, thanks so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed these DIYs I shared with you. Let me know which one was your favorite DIY I shared, and if you would try any of these crafts at your home. That's going to be it for today's video. I'll see you guys soon for another one. Bye for now.
Make sure to like and subscribe and all my mom's videos.